It was meant to be a chill weekend for the two sisters with their parents away on vacation. They had the house to themselves, snacks in the kitchen, and movies lined up. Everything was normal at first, but little things started to feel off. Lights flickered here and there, and strange creaks echoed through the halls. Even when neither of them was moving, they tried to laugh it off and blame the old house, but one night something happened that pushed things too far.
What was that noise?
I think your doll just moved.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious.
No, you're not.
In the video, the doll's stand slowly spins once, pauses, and then spins a second time. Just after that, the bedroom door opens by itself, with no one nearby. A few seconds later, the doll falls clean off the stand, as if knocked by an invisible force. The girls screamed and ran straight out of the room, slamming the door behind them. Since that night, they've refused to go near the doll, and their parents had to move it to the attic, just to keep the peace. They're now debating whether to have the house blessed or simply move altogether. Either way, the sisters want nothing more to do with that room. Callum was only 13, but he already knew something wasn't right with the house. Cold spots, shadows that didn't make sense, and that weird feeling of being watched had all been happening for months. The problem was, no one else believed him. His parents thought he was just scaring himself for fun, or imagining things from too many horror movies. So Callum decided to prove them wrong. One evening, he set up his phone and asked aloud for the ghost to show itself.
Hi everyone, it's Callum Gamer here, and I'm here today for a video. I was gonna film me right now. I changed my mind. I was gonna film some weird shit in the bathroom, but it all stopped, so that's boring. Yeah, so I'm gonna this is gonna sound stupid, but I'm gonna pretend to contact the spirits. Hello, is there anybody there? There's somebody here. Can you move an object in the room, please? This isn't gonna work. There's somebody there. Can you please move an object in the room? Nothing's moved so far. I'll try one more time. If there's somebody there, can you please move it? What the fuck? 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 Very quietly get out the room now. Yeah, I'm going. What?
In the footage, after he calmly asks twice for any sign, a book sitting on the counter suddenly gets shoved off the edge. There is no one nearby, no wind, nothing that could have caused it. Callum jumps back, stunned, but manages to keep the camera steady. After watching the clip back with his heart pounding, he showed it to his parents the next day. This time, they didn't laugh. They had no explanation, and the seriousness in Callum's voice finally hit home. Since then, his parents have started looking into ways to cleanse the house, while Callum keeps his phone nearby at all times, just in case the ghost decides it has more to say. For months, he'd been living in fear. The whispers at night, the things that moved when no one was watching, and that overwhelming pressure in the room that felt like something was always standing just behind him. Eventually, he couldn't take it anymore. He packed up and left, hoping a fresh start in a new home would put the nightmare behind him. But within days of settling in, the signs returned. Strange creaks, flickering lights, and once again that heavy feeling of being watched. Determined to get proof this time, he picked up his phone and started to record the sitting room. In the footage, it starts small. The curtain near the window begins to sway, even though the window is fully shut. Then, a decorative item that had been dangling across the same window shifts and swings unnaturally, almost as if pulled by invisible fingers. Moments later, a food bag resting on the sofa lifts slightly and slides forward without any explanation. The room is completely still otherwise, and nothing in the footage suggests wind or interference. When he returned and watched the clip, he sat in silence, unsure what scared him more, the proof or the possibility that it confirmed his worst fear. He had left one haunted house behind only to walk straight into another. Now he's wondering if something followed him. For now, he's keeping the cameras rolling and trying to figure out his next move. Eventually, the man catches new footage that confirms the haunting is far from over. This time it happens in the kitchen, and it was far worse. In the video, the cabinet door slowly opens on its own, just a slight crack as if something unseen is nudging it. Then, a pair of salad tongs slide off the counter and clatter to the floor. Moments later, a drink tips over and crashes onto the tiles, spilling everywhere. No one else is around, and the quiet stillness of the kitchen makes the events feel even more unsettling. Watching the clip again and again, the man's worry grows heavier. It is clear now the spirit did not just follow him from his old house, it is settled in here too. The haunting is persistent and shows no signs of stopping. This leaves him torn between staying and trying to fight back, or finding a way out. For now, all he can do is gather more evidence and hope someone can help him deal with whatever has attached itself to his life. The question is, will it ever let him go? A father was home alone when he started hearing strange noises coming from the basement. Concerned but curious, he decided to grab his phone and start recording to see if he could catch what was causing the disturbance.
Hello? Hello? Keep hearing weird noises in the basement, Steve, so I just want to... Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No way, no way, oh my god, oh my god. See, bro, there's nothing on this door. Hello? Yep, Dad, I'm not going down there.
In the footage, the basement door suddenly swings all the way open on its own, without any visible force or reason. The sound echoes through the quiet house, making it clear that something unusual is happening. The father immediately goes down to check the basement, but finds nothing out of the ordinary. There is no sign of anyone or anything that could have pushed the door open, and the door itself shows no signs of being tampered with. Left with more questions than answers, the father is both unsettled and determined to figure out what's really going on in his home. Not long after the basement door incident, the father heard the sound of the shower running upstairs. Once again, he grabbed his phone and went to investigate.
Hello? Oh, shit. There's gotta be something. Oh, fuck.
The footage shows the bathroom floor completely soaked, as if someone had been showering recently. The shower curtain then slowly draws itself back, revealing an empty shower stall with no one inside. The eerie sight left the father visibly shaken, realizing whatever was haunting his house was becoming more active and unsettling. After this chilling encounter, he decided to reach out to professional ghost hunters for help. They agreed on a plan to investigate the house thoroughly, hoping to finally get to the bottom of the mysterious events that were disrupting his life. Ian, known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, was exploring an abandoned theater all alone. He had built a reputation for taking on some of the spookiest locations and getting paid well for it. As he carefully searched the building, he finally made his way to the main theater.
I got another tool that I don't use often, but I'm going to try to use more often, is a thermal camera. Now this doesn't film, unfortunately, but I can do snapshots with it. And so if I see a cold spot, I'm going to snapshot it as fast as I can. So so that I don't miss it. This is what it looks like in here right now. If there's any spirits in here, could you appear in front of me? Oh wow, you can definitely see that heater there. That old thing is still running, huh? If there's any spirits here, could you make a noise? You can knock on a wall, a window. Is there anybody in here? Oh wow, guys. This is the main theater. Just take a look at this place. Isn't that just gorgeous? Gorgeously creepy. Alright, I'm gonna try to snap some photos from up here. Are there any spirits sitting in one of these theater seats? That flash of light you see right now? That's my digital camera. It's taking your photo. Could you wave to the camera? Is there anybody sitting on the top section? Whoa. I heard that. Hello? Is there somebody up there?
Suddenly, a deep rumbling noise echoed through the empty space, sending a chill down his spine. There was no one else around, yet the sound was unmistakable and unsettling. Despite the eerie atmosphere and the unexpected noise, Ian was nowhere near scared enough to call it quits. He stayed focused and ready to uncover whatever secrets the theater held. This was just the beginning of what promised to be an intense investigation. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video where this story continues. Basements can be useful in all sorts of different ways, and I seriously question how some families let them pass by without using them. Roy, the man who owned the basement in the following video, used it as a storage unit for all sorts of things, and it really did help him store way more items in his house than he would be able to. Every day he would come in and out of the basement using items and placing them back, but one day he heard some banging from down there. He called his wife's name, assuming that she was searching for something, but when he failed to hear a response, he knew that something was up and approached the basement. Once he reached the bottom of the stairs, he realized that nobody was in there, and nothing evident was on the floor that could cause such a sound. Roy stood still for a few moments, questioning what the noise really was, but eventually decided to turn around and go back up the stairs. It was at this moment that the banging sound recurred, and the wooden horse started to rock on its own accord. Out of fear, Roy ran back up the stairs, and when his wife arrived home, she was informed about the incident. They both agreed that it was strange and something must have been wrong, but came to the conclusion that they should not take any action and just hope it was a one-time thing. To their dismay, The very next day, Roy heard knocking from the garage this time and knew he needed to investigate once again. As he predicted, the same thing happened again. He gave in and followed the sounds, and when he did, he witnessed an item moving on its own accord. Roy and his wife are currently in contact with several ghost hunters over banishing the ghost, and all we can do is sit back and hope they successfully make their house pure of evil again. The following series of videos was captured by a child who was home alone, and it is always sad to see people under 18 fall victim to ghostly activities. Seeing an innocent adult suffer is frightening enough, but when a poltergeist takes it upon itself to target children, it takes things way too far. And whilst the kid in his saga was 14, that is still young nonetheless. The first clip took place when the teenage boy heard some knocking noises around the house. They eventually led him to the bathroom, and the rest is as shown. But before I play the clip, it is important for you to know that your paranormal clips can be included in one of my future videos. All that you have to do is email hauntedofficial@gmail.com a description of what happened alongside the attached clips, and I will give you a guaranteed feature in one of my videos. Anyway, here is the clip.
Oh! What was that? What was that? It's in the bathroom. Something came from the bathroom. What was that? What was that? Something came from over here. Let me see if I can match the sound with anything. No. That was it. Someone banged on my keys. Someone banged on my keys. The chair! The chair is moving. Gotta stay inside. Chair move.
The spirit started to bash the keyboard located on the desk of the teenager, and he was intelligent enough to work out what it was doing. However, shortly after he drew this conclusion, the chair behind the desk moved without any human interaction. This was not all that happened, though. Have a watch.
This is not fake. I'm home alone, and all this stuff is happening to... Did you see that? The refrigerator door opened. The refrigerator door opened. The door just closed. Oh my. What's that? Okay. Gotta get up. Man, I was kind of pushed there.
This time, the poltergeist decided to mess with doors and opened the refrigerator and also closed a random door. This was spooky for obvious reasons, and the poor boy was in audible shock. He was debating leaving the house, but out of fear that his parents would be angry, he decided not to. This turned out to be one of his decisions on the dumber side of things.
What was that? The door. I don't know what that was. I'm not gonna go look in there. Oh, it's cold. Something must have touched it. What was that? Oh, it's cold. Let me just... Oh. Okay. Nobody's here. What was that? Whoa! I think he locked me in. He locked me in. Help! 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 He locked me in. He locked me in. Help!
Fortunately, the boy was able to escape the room, but it was likely that the poltergeist allowed him to. It was obvious that this spirit was more powerful compared to others than we have seen on this channel, and the footage was sent to an exorcist who came over without any delay. All you need to know is that the house is now cleansed, and this story has a good ending. Movies are a great pastime, and Josh Ribillard believed in this heavily. Unlike most men, he didn't turn to the world of video games when boredom overcame him and opened up Netflix instead. And this is exactly what he was up to just before he filmed the clip that I am about to expose you to. He was browsing on the homepage looking for an interesting film to watch when all of a sudden, his son's wooden horse started to rock without anybody being mounted upon it. Unfortunately, he did not catch it on video, but took out his camera in case it happened on a second instance as he wanted proof. This is what he managed to capture.
Okay, so I just came down here to go watch a movie, and I swear that thing was moving again. Maybe it was just me, but it definitely seemed like it was starting to move or about to move. Yeah, there it goes again. I don't even know what to do at this point. This is not even mine, it's my nephew's. They just left it here. This happened yesterday too, but I didn't record it. It'll start, then stop, start, then stop. See? And start again. Great.
The horse rocked back and forward as if somebody was on it, but it was beyond evident that nobody was. Furthermore, it was clear that there were no strings attached to the horse, and it was doing this seemingly by itself. But we all know what that means, because of course, wood cannot move. A spirit must have been having some fun with it, presumably a child. Winston was a construction worker, and he really enjoyed his job. The pay was fabulous considering he had fun whilst he was on shift, so it was literally perfect for him. But despite all of this, what you are about to see was so bad that it almost made him quit. It took place in an abandoned restaurant that a new company had purchased the land of and wanted it renovated. They contacted the company that Winston worked for to do the job, and they were there within 2 days, however. They would have charged a much higher price if they knew just how haunted it actually was.
The kitchen, like the kitchen area.
It is. They're real quiet about it.
I will not go down.
Oh, it's cold right here. It's the other way. Hello? I'm not going up there. Definitely not going back there. Oh wow, it is really cold right here. What was that? don't think it's happy we're here. Oh no, dude. Oh, holy. Dude, there's...
A mysterious figure was sitting in the corner of this room, and before you call it a coincidental light casting, it was obviously far from that. When Winston entered the room, the shadow vanished, and furthermore he felt a cold and dark feeling in the room, which is a telltale sign of a spiritual presence. I don't know what you think, but I am certain that this was a paranormal encounter. Nothing really went on in Newtown, Sydney, and it was seen as a rather chill area at the time that the upcoming clip was filmed. The niche area that it happened in had not become host to many crimes at all over the past 2 years, and was a really safe place for families to live. Hence why Joey and her children decided to move there when the man of the house left them to fend for themselves. One night, Joey decided to go clubbing with her friends, and she got a little bit carried away with herself, so ended up setting off home at 3 o'clock in the morning. Her drunken state caused her to think that she was hallucinating the whole situation, but due to her trusted camera, she managed to confirm that this was not the case.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like banging. Oh no.
At first, whilst the footsteps were coming from behind the fence, she thought that there was a real person in her pursuit, and being a lady at 3 a.m. without any other people around, that would not be a good situation to be in. However, moments later she heard the footsteps right beside her and quickly turned her freeze response into a flight response and went as quickly as she could. Despite being drunk, she was able to escape the situation and make it back home in one piece. But the next day she decided to do something very dangerous. Joey took her car back to the same location at 3 a.m. once again in order to investigate what had happened with her full conscience and ability to quickly get out of there. It is safe to say that she would not survive a horror movie, but here is the clip.
I don't think I should go in there. Holy fuck.
The ground literally shook, and it sounded like some sort of humongous creature had leapt from the tree that was shaking vigorously. The strange thing was that she did not see anything, and based on the pure volume of the sound, it should have definitely come with a visual being. Regardless of what it was, Joey quickly got back into her car and made sure she never came across this area at such a late time again. Make sure to put what you think the source of this noise was down below, but in my personal opinion, there is only one answer: a poltergeist causing fear. The award for the most featured man in Haunter videos has to go to Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, and this is because of the sheer amount of videos that he managed to upload to his YouTube channel. They are all packed with haunting incidents, and this one was no different. It took place in a haunted asylum that he decided to venture into all by himself, and the following video occurred shortly into the exploration.
All right, we are locked in the Randolph County Asylum. I'm not gonna lie, I've got a bad feeling about this place. Not because there's anything evil, but just all the dark history and just the countless amount of spirits here and activity. It's like I'm in this vast abyss, all alone. But I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna ghost hunt, and I ain't gonna run, no matter what. Oh, whoa. Jesus Christ. That almost looked like a doppelganger. She's wearing the same clothes I'm wearing. If there's any spirits in this hospital, could you give me a sign of your presence? I'm gonna find my flashlight. Holy shit. There is a wicked windstorm going on right now, and I am sure that'll only add to the paranormal activity tonight. Hello? If there's anyone here, could you give me a sign? I'm gonna try to take some photos. I'm catching a lot of orbs floating around in here. Are there spirits in this room right now? Is that what I'm seeing?
This clip showed his entrance into the asylum, and it is rare that you can capture Ian so terrified at such a short time into his adventures. You could tell that he truly sensed that something else was inside of the place with him, and this was confirmed with the fact he managed to catch some ghostly orbs on camera. Of course though, Ian's videos include a lot of clips, and this is only the beginning, with one more being showcased in this particular video. Take a look.
There's more orbs over here. Where are you right now? Could you show yourself? Whoa. Something just hit the floor. What the heck is that? Did you just throw this? Or did it just fall? What is that? It's like a gourd of some sort. Where did this thing come from? Right there. Whoa. Dude, there's like a whole dish of the things. And look at that. There is no way that just fell. There is definitely no way. I mean, look at the distance it would have had to have gone. I mean, I know I've been walking around and like this floor, it's a little shaky. So, I mean, that is possible that maybe me walking caused it to fall. I don't know, that is strange. It's just the distance it fell that's throwing me off. Put it back in here. If you just threw one of those gourds, could you move?
Some form of food was launched from the bowl, and it made a thud sound, which is what allowed Ian to notice what had happened. thus could not have been a natural collapse because there was no presence of wind in the room, and without that the food could not have landed so far away. Subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss future videos, because this is only the beginning of a long exploration for Ian, and I am sure that you will be seeing clips from him in almost every video. A trio of siblings were all in their parents' room when they swore they witnessed a chair rocking without any human interaction. It was as if someone or something was sitting inside of it, causing the phenomenon to happen. But due to the clear view of the front and back of the chair, it was obvious that nothing visible actually caused this. That beckons the question though, what did? And I think we all know the true answer, but I'll let you have a watch beforehand.
Okay, I'm here with my cousin Braden, my cousin Benton, and my brother Karsten. And this is our parents' bedroom. And we've been catching this rocking chair moving by itself. And nobody believes us. But we're all here home alone, and we're going to see if we can catch it now. Somebody want to ask it to move?
Move. I will. Please, sir or ma'am, please move the chair if you can. Or male or female, move. I'm scared. Me too.
Probably ain't going to do it with us sitting here.
Oh, I'm so scared, cousin. Why is the trash, cousin?
Is it moving a little bit?
Oh my gosh. It is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Oh. Oh. Man, that's so creepy. Why do we have to stand here? Huh?
Wait, hold on, wait. Somebody go see if somebody's behind there.
I will.
Let's go. Why do we have to do this?
Oh, no one's behind there. Oh,
Let me
gosh.
see. Let me get it on
gosh.
camera.
Oh gosh.
Look, it is moving. And nobody's back there.
I'm so scared.
And plus, you can see in the mirror. Nobody's standing behind there while it's moving.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's slowing down now. Is it going to do it anymore for us? Nope. Stop. So there we go. We got it on camera.
It was evident that a spirit caused this from the fact alone of the chair moving after the siblings asked it to. They were all frightened by this, but due to being a trio, they were able to feel much less fear than usual in such a circumstance, and luckily caught it on camera. They sent the video to their mother and uploaded it to YouTube to see what they should do next, but the vast majority of people online didn't believe them, so offered no aid. If you have any advice for these kids, then leave it in the comments so that if they come across the video, they can get the help that they deserve. Ghost hunting in terms of a paid profession is something that I can get behind, because the amount of money that people get paid for their work in this industry is surreal. However, when people do this as a hobby rather than a job, things begin to feel strange. Alonzo was a ghost hunter, far different from the rest, and instead of using his love for the paranormal as a tool to make a living, he simply had fun with it. Whether it was using Ouija boards inside his own house, or exploring others and helping them out free of charge, he was happy to do it, and this is why Alonzo was seen as a bit of an outcast. Regardless though, he continued to help people in haunted trouble, and the following video comes from one of his house visits. Before I show you the video though, if you have any paranormal clips and would like me to break them down in a future video for you, then send the footage to drokumedia1@gmail.com and give me the story of what happened. Now, have a watch.
Aquí hay muchas manos, para que vean que aquí hay manos. Dime cómo te llamas. ¿Por qué estás aquí? Uy, algo están pegando. Vean todas las manos que hay aquí. Vean todas las manos que hay aquí. Uy, ¿dónde estás? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Estás aquí conmigo? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¡Ay, se volteó! ¡Ay, se volteó! ¡Se volteó la cabeza! ¡La! Volteó la cabeza! Uy, no manches, la cabeza la volteó. Uy, me dio miedo. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Vamos a levantar esto. Vamos a levantar esto. Mira lo feo. Manches, está llorando, amigos. Está como llorando. Está como llorando. Vean, vean, vean. Está como llorando, miren. Miren. Está como llorando, miren. Miren. ¿Cómo te llamas? Si estás aquí, quiero que me digas tu nombre.
The first weird part of this video was that Alonso's device was indicating a presence and trying extremely hard to translate what it was trying to say, but unfortunately failed. This was not the spookiest part though. The spirit also decided to move the mannequin, and Alonso made it very evident that there were no attachments on it. This video was the act of a ghost, but it was Alonso. He looked back and enjoyed it. One day, James was doing the innocent activity of eating breakfast when he got a really weird and eerie feeling out of nowhere. It felt like he was being stared at deep into his soul, so he decided to do the most logical thing and look around. His head scanned the room, but was drawn to a counter, and to the surprise of James, a cup from this counter launched itself across the room as if a person had thrown it. It was after this that he started to record the incident, just in case anything else followed, and he did the right thing because it did.
Off the table. Cleaned up all the glass, as you can see. But I'm home alone, and even when I'm not home alone, all this stuff seems to happen. What was that? I'm not feeling too well. You know what? Gotta calm down. I'm gonna find out what this is. I'm gonna find out what this is. Really? Really? Nobody's here. You coward. What? Wow, the lights turned off by themselves. I'm scared. What was that? Did you see that? Did you hear that? This is scary. Let me scan around. I really should call out a paranormal investigation team. Oh my gosh. It's cold. It's freezing cold. I can't touch it. It's so cold. I'm so scared. Really? Really? I can't deal with this anymore. I'm leaving.
This was a big step up from a moving cup, and all sorts of hauntings happened within a short period of time, which is referred to as a paranormal surge. The most prominent incident was when the stool collapsed to the ground on its own accord, and happened to be freezing cold in the aftermath, which anybody who knows anything about ghosts knows is a huge giveaway of a presence. James contacted a ghost hunter after this incident and surprisingly negotiated a low price, so they are expected to come within 2 weeks. All we can do is pray that the hunt turns out successful. Mark and Shannon were a happy couple living in a not-so-happy environment, and it was quite sad to be completely honest. They were perfect for each other and could not wait to live as one. But when they started to rent their first property, they had no clue that it was going to be haunted. Every time one of them was left alone in the house, a huge paranormal surge would happen, and luckily for you, Mark decided to record his entire evening once, just to prove to some doubters that this phenomenon was actually happening to them, and I managed to find the footage. Here you go.
Something's not right now. I don't know what it is. Something is not right, dude. What is it? What's up there? What is it to you? My adrenaline's pumping, my heart is racing. I've already seen some fucking weird shit.
The spirit opened the kitchen cupboard on video, and it was obvious that no natural thing caused it to happen. Mark sent the video to all of his friends that doubted him, but to his dismay, none of them believed him and thought he was more of a weirdo for pretending and setting up a fake experience. Do you think the experience looked fake? Let me know in the comment section, but I personally think it looked authentic enough to believe. On February the 5th of 2025, Maddie was at home when something spooked her so much that she had to evacuate her house and hide in her vehicle whilst waiting for her family to come and protect her. It's important to note that before this event, she had never experienced anything paranormal, but when she noticed a shadow figure moving in her yard, she knew that it was far from a natural light casting. Here it is.
I understand this is probably going to sound insane or look like a blur to you, but I was crying. I watched this thing move across in my rearview mirror when I was driving back of my car to the front. I could see it from outside and in the mirror. It got out of my car, like staring at me, but if I looked away, I couldn't find it until it was closer. I have never felt fear like this. The hair on my arms was standing up. I was crying on the phone with my mom, waiting for my stepdad to come over because I couldn't believe this is what I really saw.
While poor Maddie was sitting in the locked car, the shadow figure continuously stared at her, and every time she looked away from it, it supposedly got closer. It was genuinely like a horror movie for her, and she even suffers from PTSD because of it. Beyond this point, she becomes scared by the most normal shadow castings and thinks that the spirit is haunting her again. There have been no verified sightings of the spirit from Maddie since, though, and we are safe to believe that the only long-lasting effect from all of this is her trauma. A tourist called Mitchell was visiting Scotland and decided that he was going to take a leisurely stroll down a nice and long road. When he reached a certain point, though, he began to hear some distinct banging, but assuming it was just a human using a hammer or something, he ignored it. As he got closer and closer to the sound, though, it intensified, and the rate in which it happened only got louder. It was when he reached an abandoned building that he realized it must have been the source. Curiously, he walked around the building to see if he could figure out what was causing the banging, and sure enough, he was successful. This is what he found.
It is a ghost. It's just a wind. Mate. Must be a ghost. No, it's a wind. No, it's a ghost. Let's go. There's nothing else there. What else could it be?
See? Really?
I told you it was haunted.
Now, there are several reasons why this could have been faked, but I am about to debunk them. First of all, the wind could have easily caused the door to move, but if this was the case, why would it have stopped the second another noise was made behind the door? Secondly, there could have been an animal or person behind the door barging against it, but no matter how far you zoom into the crack, absolutely no movement was visible. Everybody in their right mind knows that this place was haunted. The man who recorded the following video is actually a viewer of the channel who submitted the content to drokumedia1@gmail.com in order to be featured, and if you want something similar, then make sure to do the same. A few years ago, he made a very small YouTube channel where he would read scary stories in the location that they happened in, and it was quite a cool idea, I must say. After the event that I am about to show you though, he was forced to give up entirely and never wanted to do something of this sort ever again. It took place in Jerome, Arizona, in the Jerome Grand Hotel, and it was extremely creepy. He had just finished reading a letter from a subscriber when this happened.
Okay.
The viewer was woken up by the sound of feet running across his hotel room, and he instantly turned on his mobile phone camera, followed by his flashlight. There was a loud noise that struck fear into him, but then out of nowhere, the tap turned itself on. This had to be a spirit rather than some sort of pipe issue because the handle had physically turned, meaning something had to have moved it, and it was evident that nothing else was in the room at the time. This experience was very spooky, and all we can do is hope that they haven't experienced anything of the sort since. I won't forget to say thank you to the kind viewer who submitted this, and the email is on screen if you want your clips to be in our future videos. Zachary was a single father who cared for his child called Lucius. The two lived a happy life as he was earning a stable income and owned a very nice house. They both described the house as perfect, and the common word that they used was a safe space, which made it even worse, which makes what you are about to see far more heartbreaking. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon when Zachary heard Lucius shout his name, and with his phone on record, he went to investigate.
Alright, Lucius, what happened? Tell us what happened.
The chair fell by itself.
It fell by itself when it was sitting on top of there, or what?
It just fell, but I don't know how.
Jesus, man, where's your... What the heck? What the heck? Lucius, you don't got... Lucius, it's okay!
Zachary had no idea what to expect when he went to see what was up with his son, but what we do know is that this was at the bottom of his list. The house had never hosted anything of this nature, and the fact that it decided to all of a sudden was really frightening. Furthermore, the fact that this happened to Lucius rather than his father shows that this ghost carried negative energy and had bad intentions, because choosing a young child as a victim is something that is far too unacceptable. I hope the poor kid never has to go through something like this again, and they are able to remove the entity from their house. The following video was taken by a woman called Lisa, and she knew fine well that her house was under a haunting. Things began for Lisa 2 weeks before this video was captured, when she heard a singular knock at her window. 10 seconds after this knock, her room suddenly started going crazy, and it was definitely the act of a spirit. After this initial incident, she hoped that this would be the only time it happened, but every single day the knock happened again, and you guessed it, 10 seconds later, chaos was unleashed. Eventually, the conclusion was drawn by Lisa that the next time she heard a knock at the window, she would film and see what happened, with this being the recording.
We are here now to observe paranormal activities. Apparently, at the moment... Oh, there we go. It started. As you can see, the window is closed. The door is also closed, even though there is no door. And now, still, we're observing unnatural movements. Oh my god.
Strangely, the chair moved without any visible force interacting with it, and it is very clear that nothing was doing it. Lisa initially theorized that nothing would actually come of this recording, and the ghost would turn out to be camera shy, and was overjoyed after ending the recording. She uploaded it to social media, which is how I managed to get my hands on it, but no updates have been posted since. When you hear clattering in your kitchen, when the clock strikes midnight, it is bound to be a scary event. Not to mention that your partner is sleeping beside you, so you know it can't be them. This was the case for Nicola, the wife of Jesse, who faced this. Her and Jesse had been fast asleep for roughly 1 hour, and suddenly she was awoken by the sound of the fridge opening. After turning to her side and realizing her boyfriend was still sound asleep, she took it upon herself to check the scene with her camera in hand. Have a look.
Jesse, you left the fridge open. Holy shit. Oh my god. What's going on? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This kitchen was clearly haunted, and Nicola would most certainly pass away in a horror film. The fact she didn't think to wake up her boyfriend in a situation that could have been a strong burglar is bizarre, but she was very brave for making the decision to go alone. A ghost was probably the best outcome here, because anything else might have punished Nicola's silly decision, but she now has the draining task of trying to remove it. The time was roughly 5 in the morning, and Dave Valkrat, someone known by the people around him as a hard worker, was still awake trying to complete a project he was working on. It was an editing task, and he was being paid a huge amount for it, so he couldn't miss out, and wanted to smash the deadline by a solid week to impress the client. Little did he know that there was an obstacle awaiting him in the form of a poltergeist. An important note to make is that Dave lived without any beings other than his 2 puppies, who were both in the room with him at the time of the recording, and he doesn't fail to make this very clear.
Estoy trabajando. Disculpen el reguero. Ahí están mis perritos durmiendo.
Son las 5:23 de la mañana. Estoy trabajando. Y de... Cinco veintitrés de la mañana, 5:24 ya, para los que dicen que... Para los que dicen que ocurre nada más a las 3 de la mañana, no. Son las 5 ya de la mañana. Con 24 minutos. Ahí están mis perritos. Están durmiendo. Y lo curioso es que... Alexa, luz del cuarto blanco frío. Están escuchando. Escuchen. Son susurros. Y no hay nadie, no. Siempre los muestro que no hay nadie para que luego no digan, no, es que eso, qué sé yo, de tus amigos, de tus familiares o lo que sea. No hay absolutamente nadie. Allá vive mi hermana, allá abajo, pero pues ahorita todo está oscuro. Escucharon lo mismo que yo, ¿no? Escucharon lo mismo que yo, ok. No estoy loco, escuché como venía de por aquí. Aquí no hay, para los que digan, no hay nada, es una silla y lo hacemos para que los perros cuando se suban aquí así, pues a veces dejamos esta ventana abierta como ahorita. Vean, ya está amaneciendo para que vean que no es mentira. Y Dios santo. Y no se caigan si están por ahí. Otra vez apagó todo. Bueno, ahí están, mírenlos. Por eso no he hecho la cámara y nada. Ya luego lo haré. Dios mío. Bueno, una aventura más. A seguir trabajando.
Out of the blue, a voice could be heard on the other side of Dave's door, and this would frighten anyone, so you really can't blame him for becoming scared. After buckling up the courage to open the door and see if there was anything on the other side waiting for him, he did it, and to no surprise, there was nobody. For the sole purpose of making sure the viewers knew he was telling the truth, he circled the vicinity and checked every nook and cranny of the room. No evidence of a person was left behind, other than the open window of which Dave provided a good explanation for. This was definitely the act of a ghost. After drawing this conclusion once and for all, Dave resorted to something that he had never done in his life, praying to God. He was a very unreligious person, but only one being came to mind when he thought of who he could go to for help, so despite no history with religion, he prayed that nothing else would happen. To his dismay though, the prayers were not answered, and just 3 days after the initial incident, the poltergeist decided to terrorize him once again.
Son las 3:43 de la mañana. Y justo... Otra vez. Luego empiezo a sentir adrenalina. Por eso respiro así. linterna. No hay nadie. Todo está totalmente cerrado. Ahora, los que me preguntaban, la cosa esta sale por ahí, ¿ok? Con los ojos brillosos y todo. Quiero que se den cuenta. Sale por aquí, ¿ok? Vean.
I know this is absolutely insane, but this time around, Dave was able to see the ghost in full form as it revealed itself whilst peeking around the doorway. It is unknown as to whether or not the spirit meant to get caught or not, but ghosts can go invisible in an instant, so it did likely want to be seen. The reason for this would be nothing other than an attempt to strike fear into poor Dave, and unfortunately, it worked. He is working on solving the issue, but has decided this place is not somewhere he can tolerate. New houses are being looked at, and I hope he finds one at an affordable price as much as I hope you subscribe. The next clip happened extremely late into the night, and a woman called Daria was living her usual life. She was at home with her husband and her 3-year-old daughter in a state of deep sleep, and this is when people are at their most vulnerable. The clock kept ticking until it eventually reached 3 o'clock in the morning, and just after this moment, Daria's phone started vibrating and it was a motion alert from her camera downstairs. Freaked out, but still thinking of natural conclusions, she opened the app expecting to see her pet running around the house. However, this was far from what she actually found, and not in a good way. Someone or something was peeking around that corner, and due to the front door camera not detecting anyone, it couldn't have entered the house that night. Daria and her partner both claimed that nobody was awake at this hour too, which made this event even more strange, but there's more. It is supposed that the bedroom of which Daria, her husband and their daughter were in deep sleep was on the same corridor as where the creature peeked round the corner, and if that rumor is fact, then that makes this event even more terrifying. At around 10 p.m, Heather and her family arrived home from a very nice day out. They planned this outing months ago, and the kids were very excited for it in the build-up, and now quite saddened that it had passed. When they arrived home, everyone was very tired, and Heather's husband was failing to find his keys inside of his bag. While he was searching, though something was going on in the background that only one of them were able to witness with the others, thinking they were crazy. This one person was Heather, and fortunately, her Ring doorbell camera was able to pick it up too, otherwise she would be placed in the hospital for sure, which is ironic, and you'll find out why after watching.
There's like little mosquitoes.
What kind of going on? What? What did you say? What did you say, Mommy? I can't hear you.
You gotta keep that open so it doesn't get all musty.
Can't tell me it's not good.
The family lived a mile from Bayberry Mental Hospital, and considering the attire that the spirit was wearing, experts theorize that this is where the poltergeist came from. It resembled some form of nurse, and the uniform was identified to be from the time period of the 1950s, which means that the woman must have been very old. It is rare that apparitions are seen randomly like this, and even rarer that one person out of a full family can see it. Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, has had more than enough introductions on this channel, but for the sake of the people who have never watched one of my videos before, I will care to explain. He is a professional ghost hunter who amasses view counts of up to 200,000 on a consistent basis, so he is paid well. In the following video, Ian is exploring an abandoned asylum and more specifically using a device to communicate with a ghost that was pushed out of a window in their former life. This is what happened.
On his window. John Oliver, are you here with me right now? Who are you? That sounded like, who are you? My name is Ian. I'm here to visit. Is that okay? Yeah. You just said yeah. John, is it true what happened to you? Is it true that you fell from this window? No, you were pushed. Whoa, I couldn't tell what it just said right there. Who did it? What are the names of the people who pushed you? What did that say? It sounded like two men. Are you saying that two men pushed you out of this window? I am so sorry that happened to you. Why did they push you, John? Do you have any idea? I had trouble making out what that said right there. He's definitely responding though. Very clearly too. John, I hear that people hear you whistle. Could you whistle through the spirit box? Whistle a tune, if you like. Sounded like you said no there. That's totally fine, John. You can do whatever you want. I'm just here to keep you company. What did I say? It just said like watch your back or something. Don't stay. Don't stay here. Or don't stay in this hospital. You just said get out now. Oh my God. All right, John. I'll leave you alone, okay? Whoa, whoa. Holy shit, dude. What the hell was that? Dude, he just pounded on the window. Oh my God, that was loud. All right, John. I'm gonna leave you alone, all right? Thank you for talking. Whoa, dude. Did he just bang on that window? It was kind of hard to hear over the spirit box, but I freaking heard something loud. It definitely sounded...
Just as the spirit said, go, it tapped on the glass of the outside window, which frightened Ian enough to finally leave the room. It was fitting that the ghost chose the window of all things to play its tricks on, because that is the very window that marked its location of death, which must have been pretty weird to sit in the mind of Ian. After this incident, he analyzed the situation and decided to carry on with the exploration of this place because he knew he didn't have enough clips yet. This is why he gets so many views, because his drive to perceiver beats all other ghost hunters. To see more of the clips, make sure to subscribe so you can see them in the next video. In the following video, Miguel was showing his apartment on a video, and the reason behind this was very unorthodox. He was in contact with a ghost hunter regarding a spirit inside of his house, and he wanted help removing it. However, the hunter wanted undeniable evidence in order for them to not waste their time, so Miguel's mission was made clear. He needed to catch this spirit on camera. He waited until the time when most of the things happened and took out his camera, which captured this.
Amigos, son las 1:26 de la madrugada y estoy solo, ya van 3 veces que me tocan la puerta a mi casa y relativamente pues yo estoy solo, pero pues la verdad es que sí me da miedo. La neta no sé ni qué onda en mi casa y pues sí me da un chingo de miedo. Les juro. No mames, vete a la verga. No mames, no mames. Vete a la verga. No, neta, vete a la verga. Se acaba de caer esta madre. No mames. No mames.
The rhino fell from the storage cabinet to the ground and surprisingly didn't smash. It was made out of china and was hollow, so it made no sense as to how it survived the fall, which just adds to how spooky this video was. Furthermore, the fact that it landed on all fours showed that the situation was out of the ordinary, because nothing of that sort can fall so perfectly. The video was sent to the ghost hunter and is pending review. We can only hope that Miguel receives the help he deserves. John Bailey Davies was an innocent teenager who was living his last year inside of his parents' house, and due to the fact that they worked a lot, he was left home alone. Whenever he was home alone, he would take his time operating a small-scale business that earned him around $1,500 per month. But whenever he finished with that, he would be free to play games. Over recent times, though, his gaming time has been interrupted by ghostly events, and when it started happening in this instance, he took it upon himself to start recording.
Welcome back to what is in my apartment while I'm home alone. Like, what could... Now, last time I didn't do this. I'm gonna open this door and it's gonna stop. I hate it.
Strangely, a series of footsteps could be heard from outside of his room, and due to this happening to him before he did not show any signs of thinking this was an intruder, he knew it was a spirit. In order to prove to the people watching the clip that it was real, though he left the room to investigate and found nothing. I dare you to try and find a natural solution in the comments, but for me, this is 100% a ghost sighting. After investigating the other room, he entered his again, hoping that he could at least sneak an hour into his day without any spiritual interruptions. This was a big ask considering how haunted his house truly was, but a man is allowed to dream, and dream he did. It's a shame his dream didn't become reality.
I'm the only one here right now. And as you can clearly hear, there's just someone out there.
Even more sounds came from outside of his room just 15 minutes later, and on top of this, the lights out there had turned themselves back on. This time, John did not buckle up the courage to investigate the situation and believed he had already showcased enough evidence towards this incident being a real one. You cannot blame him. I doubt a single one of you would be unfazed in a situation similar to this one. Cameras are some of the most useful devices out there and have many purposes. These purposes include catching crime and looking back on suspicious things that have happened within a place, and it is safe to say that a ghostly event is on the suspicious side of things. Kyle Anthony, was in the sitting room with his wife one day when he received an alert from his camera app that there was strange activity going on in the attic. Concerned, he opened the app, and what he found was insane. Have a look.
Well, the camera in the attic finally recorded something. I am freaked out, and there's no way in hell I'm going up there. Oh my God. Can somebody please tell me what the hell I'm supposed to do? I can't go up there. This shit is f***ing crazy.
The box was shaking aggressively, and there is absolutely no reason that something like this could actually happen without the aid of a spirit. Furthermore, Kyle has had experience with ghosts before in his past, so it makes sense that what he was experiencing was more of this. However, he decided that entertaining the ghost was not a smart idea, and unlike most victims, never contacted any professionals after the prior incidents. However, this next event would contribute to him changing that thought process. One thing that most viewers said after the clip I just showed you was that they saw an animal such as a bird or a rat that moved the box, and Kyle set out to disprove these claims in an all-new clip. The time was 1 a.m. when he went to investigate the attic.
Guys, it was not an animal moving the box. It was not a bird, it was not a rat, it was not a mouse, it was not a snake, it was not my cousin. It was a little star pendant. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gonna go up there and show you. I'm gonna show you what it was. Sorry it takes me so long to get up this ladder. It's very rickety and I'm nervous. All right, see it? It was this little thing. This little thing. This was coming out. That's what people thought they saw. It wasn't a rat, it wasn't a snake, it wasn't a bird, it wasn't a mouse, it wasn't any of those things. That's what it was, okay? Gosh, dang it, I'm nervous to be up here. But I might as well have a look inside the box. It looks like things got moved around a little bit, but... Okay, and that's open. That's not fun. But we're gonna finally implement somebody's suggestion. Check it out. Let's just have a look at that.
First of all, he showed the audience a star which was supposedly the root of all the animal rumors, and in fairness to Kyle, the star did perfectly line up with where the animal was. On top of this, instead of ignoring the spirit and quote-unquote not entertaining it, Kyle decided to follow a viewer's request and pour some form of substance onto the box. He expected it to frighten the spirit and cause it to flee the attic, but it had the opposite effect. A paranormal surge occurred, and not only did Kyle hear something within the attic, but when he went downstairs, all sorts were happening. He was right after all. He should not have entertained the spirit's ordeals, and rather let it be. All he had done was make the situation far worse than it already was, and show the poltergeist that it was in fact getting into his head. This was when he realized that he had already entertained and fueled the poltergeist, so he might as well go the full mile and get a ghost hunter into the property. Over the next week, Kyle contacted all sorts of ghost hunters seeking one that charged a reasonable price, until he eventually found one that charged $500, with a money-back guarantee if any more paranormal activity occurred within a year. Kyle snagged the deal and was ready for the hunter to arrive, but just 1 week before the ghost showcased its utter resentment.
We were just going to bed, and I noticed out the bedroom window right there that this light is flickering on and off. Here's anybody who thinks that I'm using fucking smart bulbs or something. I don't know if you can see it. Does that look like a smart bulb to you? Anyway, I'm gonna go look at the basement. Let's go look at the basement. Make sure there's nothing in the house. Y'all will see that nobody's flipping the breaker on and off. As you can see, if somebody was flipping the daggone breaker, these lights will be flickering too. Gosh dang it. Oh my God. Alright, let's go out there. See if it's still happening. Did it stop? No, it's still going. It's still going. Look. It's still going. Look at it. Isn't that crazy? Oh, shit.
Strangely, the light bulb, which was clearly not able to be controlled by a mobile device, started to flicker on and off, and this raised the alarm bells for obvious reasons. Kyle went outside to check the scene, but this is when the doors closed behind him, confirming that this was an incident regarding the ghost, rather than a coincidence with the electricity. I wish Kyle the best on his ghost hunting visit, and hope the £500 spent becomes worthwhile. The following video was recorded in the house of Rosanna, and she has been a recurring victim of paranormal activity for a long time. It all started when her ex-boyfriend decided that it would be a good idea to visit a haunted house, and thinking it was fake, both of them were more than up for it. A lot of haunting stuff supposedly took place in this house, and they both ran back out of it as changed human beings. Little did they know that the spirit came with them, attaching to Rosanna in specific. This is the kind of stuff that she has to deal with nowadays. From the toilet seat, aggressively shaking to the door, locking her into her own bathroom, this was a horrific experience for Rosanna, but nothing abnormal for her. She was kind of used to the paranormal, but had never been locked inside of a room before, which is what gave her true fight due to her fear of enclosed places without an escape. Luckily, the exit opened, and she was able to make it out, but you can't help but feel terrible for her nonetheless. If you have ever watched this channel before, you will know who Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, is. He is a brave and courageous ghost hunter who doesn't let any spirit ruin his adventures, but this one came close. He was exploring an abandoned asylum that was deemed to be haunted by many. He was completely aware that the spirits in there had a lot of resentment towards humans because of how they were treated when they were alive, but they did not expect them to cause as much of a fright to him as they did. Take a look.
Oh, that would be phenomenal if you did. Seems like you agree. Dang, this thing's going off like crazy. I don't think I've ever seen this thing go off like this. All right, Doris, I'm gonna start looking around. Which doll are you gonna move? Ooh. Oh, okay, thank you. I heard that. Holy moly, which doll moved? I can't even tell. There's so freaking many of them. Which doll did you move, Doris? Could you move her again? I'm getting nervous. Use as much energy as you need. Dude, okay, I just saw that one. That one just moved. Holy moly, I got goosebumps all over. Oh God, I can't believe I just seen that. She just moved, all on her own. Thank you so much, Doris. I feel like she is staring into my soul right now. This is a beautiful doll. Is this one of your favorites? Oh, whoa, what the f? Dude, her hair just moved. Holy moly. She just caressed her hair. Oh, dude, I just saw that. She just went like boop to her hair. Holy crap. Okay, I take that as a yes. This is your favorite doll. Oh gosh, it is getting freaky in here.
Out of nowhere, the doll moved its dress, and this took Ian aback for obvious reasons. However, due to his experience, he was not fazed, rather just in a state of shock. Little did he know that the doll would move again, and this time after he asked a question, which practically confirmed the ghost was in fact present. Subscribe for more haunting videos from Ian, as he is included in every video I publish. The doors were closed, the windows were closed, and there was absolutely no air running through the house. These three facts joined together made sure that what happened in the video I am about to expose you to had a paranormal cause to it, and even doubters were turned into believers by it. The time was 11 p.m. and Stephen, a non-professional ghost hunter who simply did it as a hobby, was exploring a haunted home on Mount Albert located in Ontario, Canada. He knew this place would be ridiculed with spirits, but not to the extent that it actually was. Have a look.
Okay, that's kind of fucking weird. This thing is moving. There's no fan on or anything. This thing's moving. Holy f***. Holy f***. This is like an old church. It's pretty crazy. Oh shit. That's f***ed up. Something going on in here. Okay.
At first, the chandelier was swinging as if there was some form of force acting upon it. But as I explained before, there was no logical way that air could have been pushing against it. Stephen made sure to keep it on camera in case it intensified or led to any other ghostly sightings. And this turned out to be the correct decision due to the curtains drawing closed on their own accord. Both of these events confirmed that the house was haunted, and the duo at the house, Stephen had an accomplice called Carson, were becoming increasingly worried. This was because they had planned to sleep there for the night, with the permission of the owners, who invited them to come and visit, and they decided to sit down in the kitchen and attempt to calm themselves down with some heat from the oven. Unfortunately, the spirit's ideas failed to line up with those of Stephen and Carson because it performed another paranormal act for them both.
So like 15 minutes now,
Nothing's gone on. Chandelier, everything's good. We have this stove on because it's cold in here. There's no heat, so we just put the heater on this fucking thing in there. And yeah, there's me. Nobody else is with us. Nobody. And Carson and I were just talking, and we're like, "How are we gonna sleep here?" And he was getting a little bit worried, like, and I was like, "No, I don't care, like, really." What the?
Strangely, the china kettle slowly nudged itself closer and closer to Carson before making an attempt to fall on him. He was really fortunate to have noticed this in time, because if he failed to, who knows if the kettle would have smashed and caused severe harm, getting boiling hot water all over Carson. He was a lucky man that day. On September the 29th of 2011, Sean Wheatcroft and a friend of his that lived inside of the same university house decided that they were going to attempt to catch a poltergeist on camera that had been haunting the house for quite some time. The house was located in Leicester and held 8 people who all got along very well, but were certain the place was haunted. The majority were too frightened to be present whilst Sean and his friend tried to catch the ghost, hence why it was just those two in the video. But here you go.
There's someone down here. Where did you live? If someone down here, can you just bang or tap? Tap a couple of times.
I don't know if that's them bangs at them upstairs. I'm putting them like that because they're easier to move then. Can you move any of these two glasses? They're really easy to move now, they're on the side. So if you can just push them at all.
Oh my god!
Oh,
turn the light on, man.
At first, the glass failed to move, and Sean speculated that this was due to it being stood up, which meant it required more energy for the spirit to cause anything. The moment that he laid them onto their sides, though, the poltergeist was happy to nudge one of the glasses and instill fear into both people present and everybody watching on social media from home like you. The men who occupy the university house are currently in contact with Leicester University on how to approach the situation, but as you would likely predict, they are not helping as much as they probably should. A Colombian woman by the name of Milana was setting up the kitchen for a family gathering when she suddenly became victim to a sinking feeling that something bad was about to happen. She had a family of roughly 40 people, and 28 of them were coming over for dinner that evening. All that she needed to do was cook some easy food, but when she received her gut-wrenching feeling regarding an upcoming disaster, she needed to take a seat for a moment, and it was while she was sitting there that the event happened.
Estoy aquí en el apartamento sola y acabo de escuchar algo en la cocina. No sé si ustedes lo escuchan, pero yo sí lo escucho. ¡Ay, Dios!
Rather than a highly dangerous disaster where Milana would be put at risk, nothing too bad happened, and all she had to do was face a big fear of hers, a poltergeist. It moved the vase on the shelf all the way from the left to the right, and she was very fortunate to have caught it on video. When the family arrived, she explained that she was sorry she was unable to complete the food and asked somebody else to finish it off with guilt. She decided to not make them aware of what happened in case she aggravated the spirit into causing further mayhem, and it must have worked because nothing like this ever happened again. Similarly to the situation that Milana found herself in, the victim of our next clip was also operating in the kitchen, but in a situation far less dire. Zombie and her husband Emmanuel were in the kitchen together, making themselves some dinner, when all of a sudden they supposedly saw their food moving without any human interaction. Thinking that they were both seeing things, they decided that it would be best to ignore this mysterious sight and continue cooking. But once it happened again, they were certain that their eyes were not lying to them, and Zombie took out her camera to see what she could potentially catch. This is what she was able to record.
Nonsense. Oh.
If it was water, it should be moving like a lot.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Are you dead? Is that it?
Watching throws it across.
Don't see it, don't see it. I think that's it. I think it's done messing with our food.
Somehow, the already cooked and served food started moving across the counter, and it was very obvious that there were no strings or anything of the sort attached. This was a first-time experience for the duo, as none of them had ever gone through anything of the sort, and were sad that they eventually had to. After the incident, they sent the video to everybody that they possibly could in search of good advice, and the best that they got was to contact their local church, so they decided to go for it. A priest is now scheduled to visit their home and attempt a cleanse, so all we can really do is pray that this turns out to be a success. Roughly 1 year ago from now, a young man called Mason had a dream, and he had absolutely no idea that this was a premonition, meaning that it would one day become a reality. In this dream, a spirit was continuously knocking on his walls in a clear attempt to frighten him, and eventually he darted up from bed sweating, realizing that he was experiencing an altered reality. Fast forward 365 days though, and whilst Mason was watching the television, this started to happen.
Knock if you hear me. Knock if you hear me. Knock if you hear me. Knock if you hear me.
Mason initially started to record because he heard the knocking noise and instantly got some déjà vu from it. Since he had already dreamed the situation, he knew that it was going to continue for a few more minutes, so started to film to assure his relatives and friends that he was not lying when he decided to tell them. Who knows how many of your dreams could become reality, and based on the nightmares that everybody has, that would not be fun. Anyways, going back to the story of Mason, after the knocking incident, he was very frightened and didn't know whether it was the right idea to inform people or not. He came to the eventual conclusion that it wasn't, and thought people would not believe him despite the video evidence. This decision would not stick because something else occurred though. This time he heard sounds from outside of his room, and it was as if somebody was pottering around his house. Curious, he went to his door in order to investigate the scene, and this is when he was greeted with a large and menacing silhouette. Not what anybody wants on the other side of their door. This last clip was filmed by Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, as part of a long vlog inside of a haunted asylum. Over the last few videos, we have been including clips from this adventure, and from moving fruit to self-slamming doors, they continue to become worse and worse, with the one that I am about to show you not spoiling that trend. With that said, take a watch.
Heck is that thing? Looks like a horn of some sort. That's really weird. What is that thing? I don't even know. It's attached to something. Comment below if you know what that is. I have no idea. What the? Did that just turn on or did I leave it on? What the hell? I honestly can't remember if I actually left them on or they just turned on. I don't know. I have to look back at the footage and see later. Did someone just turn these lights on? Hello? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I know for sure I turned it off, but I don't know if I turned it back on at some point. I can't, honestly, for some reason, I can't remember. This whole asylum, I feel like I am slowly losing my mind. I can't even properly remember things. Hello? What was that? I just heard something in here. Hello? Whoa. What the hell? My booster light just went out. And I can't get it to turn back on. What the hell? This has never happened before. This place is literally messing with me. Oh God! Oh, the lights just went out! And of course my freaking booster! Dude, this flashlight! Why isn't it working? Oh God! Oh, thank God! Get me out of here! Turn these fuckers back on! Oh God, that was terrifying. Dude, of all the times for my booster light to go out and my freaking flashlight, dude, I couldn't see anything. I'm not doing anything else until I freaking get new batteries, a new light. Hell no.
All sorts of things happened within this terrifying 3 minutes for Ian, and he was fortunate to have made it out unscathed. It was extremely coincidental that his equipment stopped working at the exact same moment that the lighting in the complex did, and that alone points towards a paranormal cause in my books. Subscribe to my channel for more eerie clips from Ian. Kai Tanat is one of the biggest streamers on the entirety of the internet, and one thing that he is really good at is getting clips. People go as far as to say he goes out of his way to capture interesting clips, But in the one that I am about to show you, it looked very authentic. It took place all the way back in 2023, and Kai was doing one of his Twitch streams where he would sit down and entertain chat. Little did he know that he was not the only one who would entertain them in that stream. Have a look.
R.
Bro, come on, bro.
Strangely, the door behind Kai slowly opened, and it became clear that there was something or someone present. Kai, not used to things of this nature, looked visibly frightened and keen to leave the room, but he knew that he had to keep broadcasting in order to make more money from his chat. This event put a vivid memory into his mind that he will never forget, and nobody in the entire chat could identify a natural cause other than the paranormal world. Arya Saki going live was a usual occasion, and when she started a cooking stream one day, nobody batted an eye. For the weeks coming up to this stream, she allowed her viewers to vote on something that they wanted her to make, and when the decision was made and the stream went live, they all came pouring in to see if she could make it to perfection. At one point in the stream, the chat started asking her about paranormal activity, and how they got onto this topic is something I don't know. What happened next was very coincidental, considering this information though.
I'm actually not scared of stuff like that. For me, I need to like see it to believe it. So I don't really believe in like ghosts or any type of spiritual stuff. Doesn't mean I'm not afraid of the visuals though. I can't do scary movies or haunted houses. It's the shock factor that's scary for me. If they like pop out of nowhere, I cannot. But if I'm like just listening to it or like, you know, hearing a story on it, I'm like very unaffected.
The item on the counter started spinning as if a human had triggered it, but it was more than evident that no one or nothing was there. After the clip, Arya showed her viewers the entire surrounding of the item, and there were no strings attached whatsoever, confirming that this clip was real. Ever since then, she has never experienced anything similar, and hopes that it stays that way. In the following video, a group of 4 social media friends decided to call on Zoom for a Twitch stream. Their theory was that having more people present would allow for more engagement, and this ended up being correct, with the stream being one of the most successful ones on his page. However, the stream had a dark side of which frightened all 4 of them, even causing a 5th friend to join when it was put into the group chat. Take a look.
People gotta go, and we gotta bring some people in. I understand what you're saying, though. The Nets is kind of a different thing. They blew everything up to bring in some superstars, but y'all already got R.J. Brunson. Y'all got Josh Hart. I think y'all need to build off of those 2 people and a couple of more pieces. I do like R.J. Barrett, but I don't know. It might be time for him to go as well. You never really know. So I say you just build off of those people. Was that a ghost? Never really know, so I say you just build off of those people. Was that a ghost?
I just personally... Oh, yo, Junebug, chill out.
Yo, that wasn't even a person.
Junebug, chill out. I ain't got time for this.
Yo, did we catch a ghost on stream?
Bro, stop.
No, stop it. Stop
Junebug,
it.
Chill out. I'm alone.
Hey, I didn't see it. I didn't see anything, man. I was looking at
turn on the lights. Stop playing, bro.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it.
I'm gonna go look at it right now because this is what?
Oh, shit.
Bro.
What, Junebug, what happened?
That was not a person, bro.
Bro, chill out. What are y'all talking about? J-Rob, stop.
Hey, y'all chill out, man. Hold up, man. I ain't with this.
Bro, go watch it for yourself.
Run it back. Somebody run back the clip. Please, somebody run back this clip.
Oh,
bro.
Somebody clip that.
Run it back at 5 minutes.
I don't know what y'all
Run it back at 5 minutes.
No, I'm gonna put the lights on, but y'all,
do that.
No.
Hey, Christy, bro, you ain't got no parent.
Somebody please cut that back. Oh, somebody please cut that back and clip it. Oh,
ain't got no paranormal up in there, bro. Like, nah, but let's but nah, J-Rob.
Okay.
J-Rob, what was this?
What the y'all see? I'm not playing no more.
Nah, J-Rob, so you just agreed.
Some form of shadow figure was caught gliding across the screen of Chris, and there are not many things that could have been other than a ghost. Chris went as far as to search his room straight after the incident on the off chance that this was anything other than a poltergeist, but he saw nothing. After the stream, he came into contact with a ghost hunter who watched it, and they agreed a price to get him round to cleanse the house. I believe everything was fine after that, but we do not truly know. When you watch the news, you expect nothing too flashy, and nothing but real-world situations. On the odd occasion, though, some unorthodox things are caught on these programs, such as snowballs being thrown at presenters, or children desperately trying to be broadcast nationwide. There is one thing that I have not mentioned, though: cameos from our favorite beings on this channel, ghosts. The upcoming broadcast came from News Channel 13, and this is what it caught.
And as you can see behind me here, we have a few gravestones, but what you can't see because it's dark out, and as you can see behind me here, we
Similarly to the last clip, a shadow figure glided across the screen, but this time, it was in a location that I would describe as much more appropriate, a graveyard. You would expect to see haunted things conjured up in places like this, but the fact it happened on live television was crazy, and everybody was able to see a real ghost in action. Now we're moving off from the big live streaming platforms such as news broadcasts and Twitch. We are going to Facebook. The streamer who was able to capture the clip that I am about to expose you to is fairly small on the platform and has an average viewer base of around 50 viewers. This spiked heavily after the insane clip that changed his life for the bad happened. It was 11 o'clock at night and everybody was starting to get to sleep. Not this creature, though.
I fucking backed over and show y'all that the picture came from in the back of my yard. Let me see if I can flip this bitch around. That's the exact spot now. That's my backyard. I'm zooming in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just. Hold on. This dog. What in the fuck?
It looked awfully close to Siren Head, and although we know it wasn't that due to it being a fictional character, it definitely holds the same amount of creepiness around it. The last thing that I would want to see after opening my back door is that thing running around, so it must have been horrible for the streamer who bravely recorded it. Thor H13 was an up-and-coming Twitch streamer who usually had no more than 15 people tuned into him at the same time. He would play all sorts of games with his favorite genre being horror by an absolute mile. In the stream in which the clip that I am about to show you emerged, he was playing a horror game as per usual when all of a sudden something unexplainable happened, and the clip was able to get him a lot of free traction. Take a look.
And I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you for watching the stream. Make sure you hit that follow button if you're watching on YouTube, so apps.
hit that subscribe button, man. Check out the other games and videos that I make and whatnot. You know what I mean? Alright, guys. It's your Big Man Thor H13. Sign out. Peace! That was a good game. I liked it. I liked it. We finished 2 chapters. Finished 2 chapters. Well, guys, if you have... What the f... The f was that? Did you guys see that? This shit just fell. The fuck? What the? Anyway.
Just as Thor H13 ended the stream, he was dismissed with a loud sound, and nobody has yet discovered any natural cause for it. The Thor plushie collapsed to the ground with an almighty thud that no simple plushie should have been able to generate. A spirit must have applied a large amount of force to make this happen, and this is why people are so certain of what it was. Since this event, the streamer in question has never experienced anything similar or of the sort, and all we can do is hope that it stays that way. So far in this video, all of the streamers have noticed that something strange has happened right away, but that is not the case for our next one. He was gaming for his large audience, and I mean large because this is a high-tier streamer when something totally unexpected took place. It was so strange and so widely viewed that it caused a lot of speculation among the audience as to what actually caused it, with many referring to it as a publicity stunt to get people rolling into the stream. Me though, it looks pretty authentic, but I'll let you form your own opinions after watching it. Out of seemingly nowhere, the art piece in the background fell off from one of its hinges, and it has come to my attention that it was nailed in making it extremely unlikely that it would just fall. Furthermore, we do not see the streamer make any sudden movements in sync with the art piece collapsing, making it confirmational that even if it was fake, he could not have triggered it. Due to these 2 factors, I pin this video out to be a real one. But how about you do some analysis and let me know what you think in the comments. In the following video, 4 very large and influential Twitch streamers gathered on a stream to discuss how they all made it to their famous status. But that was not all that happened. They had a very myriad amount of people watching the stream due to it being all of their audiences combined, and they made it to the topic of how luck plays a part in making it big online. Minx, one of the streamers in question, was emphasizing this point when the other girls realized that something peculiar went on in the background. Can you spot it too?
I'm going to be an influencer. It's like, it's such a gamble in this industry. That's one of the worst things. Yeah. You can be the most entertaining person.
Oh my god,
like,
Minx. Your
wheelchair just
moved?
moved?
Your wheelchair just moved by itself.
On my life, it just moved.
It just moved by.
I didn't see
just
it.
Like your wheelchair just moved by itself, Minx.
No, it did.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
I swear. It did.
Somehow, the wheelchair behind Minx that belonged to one of her grandparents moved on its own accord, and the fact that Minx didn't even notice was pretty frightening. Both of her grandparents were alive and well, so it could not have been one of their spirits controlling the chair. rather one that had the sole intent of causing harm and chaos. In the aftermath of the incident, she decided that the next best step would be to put the wheelchair in the trash and purchase a new one for her grandparents. She was in a great financial situation, so it was the obvious fix. Unlike all of the other streamers whose paranormal experiences we have looked into, this next streamer was a regular when it came to experiencing poltergeist activity. He had a specific flat that he rented out just to stream inside of, and whenever he went over, he was ridiculed with paranormal activity. Streaming was his primary source of income, so no matter how much he wanted to relocate his streaming setup, he was unable to. Furthermore, all of the paranormal activity only increased both his viewership and his income, so he knew he had to persevere in order to have a better future. The clip I am about to show you came from one of the streams inside the flat, and actually tilted him so far that he never came back.
Here, and I'm honestly really shaken right now. I've talked to Jay. He knows what to do in case of an emergency. My parents know I'm here. Several friends in real life know I'm here. That's all I have to say right now. I'm gonna try and get into the gameplay. I tried to play the demo again, and it's gonna be fun. We got Dustin with the $2 holly, guys. Let's get a hashtag Dustin in the chat. Toronto in the chat. Door. I'm gonna ACG with the $1 olive. We're gonna check it out, guys. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm completely numb right now. I'm completely numb. My mouth is numb, my face is numb, I can't feel my hands. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I tried. I'm sorry. I'm going home, guys. I'm ending my stream right here. Thank you guys for coming by. I'm sorry. This is a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know. Go raid Skilled Apple. Go. I'm going home. I'm going home. Sorry, guys.
All sorts of stuff happened here, and the reaction from the streamer said it all. He was in tears and on the verge of going insane. But fortunately, he made the right decision and put his mental state above the entertainment of his viewers. The only problem now is whether his landlord will see this reason as reasonable enough to let him leave the place earlier than expected, and he should do. The following video took place in the garage of David, a badminton player who only loved one thing more than his sport of choice: motorcycles. He had always dreamed of owning one, and when he was finally in a situation that he could call financially stable, he took it upon himself to buy one. It was a top model considering that he was new to riding, but fortunately, he was able to purchase it at a cheap price from an old merchant. One thing that he failed to consider was the reason the price was so cheap, and he was about to find out in this video.
Yeah, check it out, guys. So I just got it. It's a 2022 KTM XCW. Fuck was that? I just got it a couple months. Fuck, Jesus Christ.
Mid-recording, the badminton racket collapsed to the ground, and it was almost as if a person had interfered with it. However, it was very obvious that this was far from the case. There was nobody else in the room with David, and furthermore, he felt a wave of chills swarm his body, so he knew that something was up. It was just a matter of what. He contacted the person that the motorcycle was purchased from, and all they said was 2 words: "It's attached." Zach was home alone at 2 in the morning, and this was supposed to be a relaxed and calm night. Little did he know that he was not home alone after all. Whilst his parents were gone, he was put in charge of the household, and bear in mind nothing of the paranormal sort had ever occurred inside. That all came to an end on this fateful night. Zach reported all sorts of things that happened throughout, but he was only able to capture a small segment on camera. But we all know that quality is better than quantity, and despite not filming what he did film was crazy. Take a look.
I don't want to fuck this house anymore. What the? What the? No! Oh.
Zach was in his bed far from relaxing, but suddenly he felt a cold feeling and took it upon himself to record, given that he had already experienced weird things that night. It is strange that he was given this urge, but fortunate at the same time, because he was able to get the movement of his trash can on tape. And as you could tell from the reaction, this was very frightening. I received no updates after this incident, so what happened next is down to your imagination. So let me know your predictions in the comments down below. On September the 29th of 2015, a YouTube channel that goes by the name X-Mangage uploaded a video that caused a lot of concern among the audience. It took place in what looked like his kitchen, and we have no idea what actually incentivized him to start filming, but something must have, and it paid off. The time was 1:33 in the morning when this horrifying sequence of events took place. At first, the events could be easily excused or passed off as fake because electrical scenarios can be called off as issues in power. However, the fact the lights were swinging gave the audience a bit of a reason to believe it happened. This was not what sealed the deal, though. In the ending, a ton of kitchen items collapsed to the ground in an almighty crash, and there is no passing that off as some electrical issue. This was most definitely a ghost, and if ex-Mangaj doesn't want to fell its wrath again, he and his family should take immediate action. When a ghost starts to haunt your household, it can be some pretty scary stuff, but when you realize it's attached to you specifically, things become far worse. The man in the next clip had been living in the same home for years with absolutely no hauntings, but out of nowhere I started to notice some weird things happening. These things became so ridiculously overwhelming that he was forced to move out to a new home to escape them. Little did he know that this was not going to do the trick.
You're not allowed here. Leave. 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 This is my house. No. What the man?
It was very obvious that this place was haunted. And even after this clip, more things happened. The man filming put 2 and 2 together and realized that the same ghost had probably followed him to the newest location, meaning he couldn't simply walk away from it. If he wanted to escape, he had to hire an expert, and unfortunately, that isn't something that he is in the financial position to do. He will have to deal with it. What most people do when they discover the presence of a spirit in their house is they take action against it, and there are many ways to go about this. From hiring a professional ghost hunter to contacting priests, the solutions are endless, but each one has one thing in common. In order to get them to come and cleanse your house, you need a good amount of evidence because these guys do not waste their time. When Owen realized his place was haunted, he tried to reach out to these people who said the usual response. Come back to us when you have some valid proof, but instead of quitting, he went out of his way to get it. The upcoming clip is from Owen trying to provoke the spirit in order to get it to do something. He filmed this as the entire point was to have concrete proof, and this is what he got.
Come on, where are you? Come on. I've seen you around here, so I've heard you around here somewhere. Show yourself, though. Show yourself. Come. Pull another one out. Pull another one out. Pull another one out. I hope. You know. That's enough now. Don't do no more.
This looks like concrete proof to me. From a drawer opening without any visible force interacting with it to a large object collapsing, these two incidents happening within the same time span was way too coincidental for this to have been anything other than a ghost. After the event, Owen got back in contact, and a few hunters decided that the mission was worth their while considering the pay. All we can do is wish Owen the best of luck in the future.